Have you seen Nobody 2 yet?
No,
Do you plan to see it?
I'm on the fence.
Well, I saw it. I saw opening weekend. And I have to say, in comparison, even though I do enjoy the first movie, which we're about to review,
Hmm.
I do find the second one better.
Okay, just going based on the trailer,
But
it looked like more like a comedy.
it had more humor than the original, yes.
Okay.
And not giving too much away, but if you've seen it already, people who are listening, watching this review, it felt like they put two movies into one in a
Okay.
sense of villains because they could have separated the villains and used one villain for another sequel.
Okay.
On Rotten Tomatoes, it is still currently scored at 84% by the critics and 94% by the audience. This is a movie where a comedian can be a legit action star. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Now, I don't know the budget of this. I didn't do the research, and I'm thinking 90 million. The budget for this.
Per IMDb, the budget was 16 million.
16 million? That's awesome.
I mean, when you think about it, like the most action and special effects is essentially in the end.
Right.
There's the burning of the finances and the monies and
Yeah.
and then the sort of whole factory ambush. Other than that,
Right.
most of the stuff is just hand to hand. Probably could be done on a closed set.
True. That's actually very true. How much did it gross?
Gross worldwide was 57 million.
With that budget of that's a hit. Then we have Bob Odenkirk, who's known for comedy, but he did get into drama with Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He did a great job here. And it's the same people who gave us John Wick. You also have Connie Nielsen, who was the mother of Princess Diana. And then you have a bunch of no names. Except for RZA and Christopher Lloyd.
And Michael
like
Ironside.
Oh, yes, but it was like a cameo. It was more like a cameo, but it was great to see him. And then
Absolutely.
you also have Daniel Bernhardt, who's from The Matrix, who's also from the John Wick films. He's also in Ballerina, which I find funny since that's still in the John Wick world. He's in it as another character. Weird because he's in the first John Wick.
Yeah.
And he gets killed. He's also in Nobody 2. He's playing another character as well. But I'm saying it's
let's
so
be honest,
obvious.
like that's not the first time that's happened for him playing a role. Like he's like the perpetual stuntman, and we know he can do more than just be a stuntman.
Oh no!
But,
I mean, we've known him since Mortal Kombat, the television series, and he was also in Bloodsport, the sequel spinoffs. He's a legit martial artist that broke into acting through stunt work and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, you have the same guy who's playing in like the same franchise both times, but different roles. And I just find it funny because it's not really like him wearing a mustache or prosthetics in his face to make him a different guy altogether. It's just his hair's dyed. So it's funny to see here that, yes, he was on the bus scene in Nobody, and then he's in Nobody 2 as another character altogether, but it's like so obvious.
True.
For me, it is.
Now, I don't know about the sequel, but I know, so he's not the same character because they didn't kill him in the first Nobody.
No, he's not the same character, no. Now, you have a sweat stain on your head. You're sweating?
Bro,
it's hot in there? Oh, yeah, I forgot you have no AC.
I was about to be like, you get up your ass right now.
I totally forgot.
It's literally...
Don't you have the fan on? Don't you have the fans on?
Fans are all in the house, but the house is at 90 degrees right now, so...
Jesus Christ.
I'm sitting here in front of lights. Do you want to talk about my sweat?
I'm sorry. I totally forgot in my AC home.
Oh,
I totally forgot. Anyway, I enjoy this film. I think the first two acts are very strong. I just have a problem with the third act.
We're back on the original.
Yes, I'm sorry. Back onto the original movie. The first two acts of the film, so good. Did you know he almost died in this film?
No.
What saved him was the training for it. Because he literally died. He actually died in his trailer.
So
he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. And then there was there's a paramedic on set and stuff like that, and she was able to help him. But they didn't he was in his trailer. He had a heart attack, and no one knew about it. They thought he was just being a prima donna, staying taking his time getting out. But then someone found him. But him training for this film, because I think he trained for a while to get ready for this, because he's an older guy.
He's
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 not
an older
young.
guy, but and like you said, he's not known for this, and he had a smaller build when he did
Hmm.
Better Call Saul, which was like one of the earlier things he did before this. And he did put on size before the movie came out. Seeing him in an interview, and he was talking about like how much size
Hmm.
he put on, how much training he did. So he did a lot
Right.
of work.
But this came out like around COVID time. So it was that's why people didn't know. That's right. Because it was filming during COVID time. So people were away, they took the masks off during filming in the sense that the
Mhm.
actors, everyone else behind the camera had the mask on and they were keeping their distance. So,
Okay.
but yeah, he died this, man. Like, it would have been weird, that he doing an action film and he dies, but
I mean,
off
we've
camera.
seen plenty of films like that.
Well, yes, The Crow, Brandon Lee, but I'm talking about like
Bruce
off
Lee,
camera. Huh?
it happened with Bruce Lee.
Well, Bruce Lee was in a meeting and he had a complaint about a headache and he was given medicine and it had an allergic reaction
Yeah,
to it.
but wasn't he in the middle of filming Game of Death too?
No. So Game of Death, he shot the action scenes first. He had a premise, he had an idea for it, but he wanted to do the action scenes first. And so when we see the film Game of Death, he just shot the action scenes. They didn't really go and divulge too much into the story. There's countless like photo shots, photo stills, and some video outside of the tower,
Yeah.
like like in the grass and so like doing some scenes too. So he did a lot of things. He did what like Tom Cruise does now with the Mission Impossible films. Like Tom Cruise has an idea of an action scene, and what they do is they film the story around it to make sense of that action scene.
Okay.
Improv, if you will, stunt improv, if you will, an aspect. So that's what Bruce Lee did.
Mhm.
Right. But the last film he did in completion was Enter the Dragon. And
True.
that was done after the scenes of Game of Death, if I'm not mistaken. Like that. But anyway, he was in a hotel room or apartment of Betty Lee Ting. If I'm not mistaken, I probably am mistaken, who was accused of having an affair with him. And he was complaining about headaches, and she gave him a prescription drug that she thought was similar, and he had an allergic reaction and then had a cerebral edema, water in the brain, and burst,
Oh,
and he
I thought
died.
he had an aspirin.
No, it wasn't an aspirin. It wasn't
Oh,
an
okay.
aspirin. It was like a medical, like a prescription. Yeah,
Okay.
behind the counter. Yeah.
Kids don't do drugs.
Well, don't do medication that's not generic or made for someone else. Did you like this movie?
This was my very first time watching it.
What?
Yo, you've been trying to get me to watch this movie for years now, and this is my
Yeah.
actual very first time watching it.
So what you think?
I enjoyed it. I did legitimately enjoy the movie. I knew based on what you've told me in the past, like it's by the same production crew and stunt
Mhm.
people from John Wick. They took the
Mhm.
general idea of like, what if you took a guy who's like a normal day to day Joe Schmo, and turns out he's like the John Wick equivalent. Personally, I think there's more humor in this movie than you would find in a John Wick film.
Oh,
Uh,
definitely.
in that sense. And the action very quickly goes from being like more grounded to being over the top.
The third act.
Yes, which is fine because there's plenty of action films that we watch that are way over the top, and I'm okay with it. I
The
literally just
opposite of
watched a
John Wick.
film about Jackie Chan holding a baby panda. This is a real film that
Oh
came
my
out this
God.
year, in the last
God.
year.
Like we were saying before, like the third act is a little weak. I found that, or not weak, but I said it was weak, but you said it over the top. Whereas like the opposite of like John Wick, where everything is not over the top, but like grounded, but still like crazy and something like that. And then it's weakened by the last fight in that first movie. I think we talked about that in our review.
Mhm.
We did review it, right? Yeah, we did, right?
I don't
Don't
remember.
know. Neither do I. But anyway, this could definitely be in the John Wick universe in a different way.
No, and I was talking
And
with a friend
it
about
had
that.
a lot
Like,
of similarities.
there's a lot of similarities. I mean,
Yes.
he's granted he's part of the government, or a
Right.
former part of the government, but
Or military.
clearly a whole society out there, an
Mhm.
organization that knows what he does and knows what's up.
Right.
So yeah, this could have been part of the John Wick universe. A lot of it would fit, other than the fact you don't see the gold coins. But I wouldn't
Mhm.
be surprised.
Right. I have to say this in the Nobody Part 2 or Nobody 2, the tattoo, there's no answers for it. Well, we said
Like,
that one, it goes to that one tattoo place tattoo parlor, and the guy sees it and he says, "Thank you for your service." And he bolts out of hell and he locks all the doors, which was hysterical. But they don't go in detail, like in a sense, like they didn't answer questions in Nobody 2 in the sense, what does that tattoo represent?
True,
You
and
know?
I mean, they didn't really go into it in the first one either, but, like,
Right.
I assumed it had to do with what he was telling the people, like, because he monologued to 2 dead people twice about his past, how he was working as, like, accountant for the government, but he was, like, the last guy you wanna see. I thought it was more, representative of his military history or regiment, and, like,
No, I
like, how
understand that.
sometimes,
Right.
like, in some movies, they'll say, "Oh, this was, like, a military group that was, like, so hush hush. If you heard or saw this symbol, that represents them," kinda situations.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying though. Like you see it, but you know, obviously from the guy's reaction at the tattoo parlor, that there is a special group, you know, like Navy SEALs or like similar to Lethal Weapon, Riggs or Mortal has the tattoo on his arm, and the kid sees it, and he's like talks about the tattoos like this is very, you know, like special elite group.
Yeah.
And yes, we have that tattoo, but again, there's no answer, not in the first film, not in the second film. And I was hoping that they'll divulge in the second film. I don't mind not everything answered, but some things should have some kind of answer or reasoning and stuff like that. Like how badass was he? Because it's kind of also similar to John Wick with his tattoos on his back. The tattoos mean something,
Yeah. I mean, you don't even get
right?
those answers until John Wick 4?
I guess. But the thing is, Odenkirk is old. He's 63 right now. So I don't know how many films he can do to elaborate. Even though the way he ended Nobody 2, you can see a sequel coming.
Mm.
What was your favorite moment?
I would dare say the house invasion.
Mm,
I mean, the bus is a good moment. Not
that's good.
to is a really
Yeah.
good moment. Kinda reminded me of the movie, I think it's called The Roundabout. No, The Roundup, Korean action film. It's actually really good.
Uh,
There's a good fight scene on a bus, but this one has more guys on it,
right.
and then he gets tossed through the window, which is funny to me. So, but the fight in the house when he's like, "Don't call the cops," he closes the door, and it's like a safe room, panic room.
Hmm.
It's the basement,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then he just goes to town. He handled his house arguably better than when John Wick first had the guys come in. The knife work on the guys in the kitchen.
Hmm.
And like when they finally do catch him and they bring him into the car, they're like, "Where are you going?" I know that this is longer than that one scene, but I just thought it was funny. They're like, "The hospital." It was like, "Listen, like first we drop them off and then we worry about your scratches." And they're and both of them, both the driver and the girl are like, "Our scratches."
No, but what's cool about that too, like I mean, knowing about what happened, how that scene worked, like Odenkirk wanted him, the character, not to be like superhuman. I mean, the thing with like John Wick, he was in retirement for a while, and he gets right back into it. He doesn't train, doesn't get back himself in shape, but he's handling stuff like time was didn't go by.
Yeah.
Odenkirk, he says, I need to get beat up. I can't be doing everything like off the bat like it was yesterday. It has to be like I've been away from it. I'm rusty, and I start getting more into the flow as the fight continues, which was great. It's a great in the sense of a storytelling that you see that he's an older man, he's having trouble, but then his determination, his anger, his drive gets him through the fight, especially
Yeah.
on the bus and in the house. Well, the house is different because the house, he's doing it to protect his family. So he has motivation there.
True.
On the bus, he is angry. He is fed up. He went to kill the perpetrators that came in that he thought took the bracelet and all that stuff. And then he couldn't do it because the baby was there and he felt like those were parents. So he had all this pent up anger, and then he lets loose because he could have gotten off that bus and walked the rest home or taken an Uber or what have you, but he doesn't. He
Yeah.
stays there to out his frustration.
Yeah. And the whole idea is like up until that point, he wasn't really trying to kill anyone. Not until the home invasion. And
Right.
the reason why is because he's living the double life where he's trying to stay low key off the grid. As soon as he took yeah, because it's not to
Double
draw attention.
life. double life because
It's
he was
not.
retired. He was done.
Well, that's what I meant. Kind of like the equivalent of witness protection. Like you're supposed to live the new identity.
But wasn't that place like his wife's family's business where he was
The
working?
house,
The warehouse.
yeah. The warehouse was his wife's. Yes,
Yeah,
the
right.
family business.
Family business, right?
But like he didn't know about the family business until he married his wife or whatnot. Like before, right. So like she didn't know about his past.
Not true.
The way they made it in the first movie is like she didn't know.
Right. You got to see the sequel.
Okay. At one point, it seemed like she kind of knew, but then like by the point they got to the panic room and things were happening, she had a look of dumbfoundedness on everything.
Granted, the house got attacked like out of nowhere, so it was like, what the hell? So she's, and of course you have the kids there. So what happens when you have kids involved now? You focus on them. You worry about their survival. So that your focus gets shaken or disrupted. Yes, the house attack was great. I do like the bus because there is humor in it, and it's good to have that kind of balance of humor.
Yeah,
supposed to watch on his hand, on his knuckles. That was so good because just as almost like a brass knuckles in a way, just to protect his hands like that. But yeah, very John Wick in similarity in the sense that there's a Russian group, just like in John Wick, the adversary was a Russian group.
True.
Started with the son, then it built, then to the father, and then to the syndicate, if you will. And here was a Russian mob, which was fronting a nightclub, just like in John Wick 2, there was a nightclub.
John Wick 1.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they should have them together. Probably not because John Wick's supposed to be dead, but it would have been nice if they were together. Or do like a movie where there's a flashback of John Wick, like they did in Ballerina.
I mean, it could have worked because they technically would have been on opposite ends of the spectrum.
I understand, but somehow they do.
Well, that's what I mean. It would have worked because like one's an assassin for the government and the other's an assassin for crime organizations.
Yeah, okay, but then you got to look at he's no longer military in that sense.
No, but what I'm saying is like they were both supposed to be retired. If we were doing like a flashback, it could have been before they got retired, or it could have been after they retired, and like Ballerina in between the John Wick movies.
Right.
This happened.
But the thing with Nobody, that he is former military, but he is like so, like his level is so high, even though he's retired, he's out of that. Yeah, granted, we see stuff that he's still in it in a way of like listening to certain things like crimes or whatever, talking to RZA's character through.
Which is supposed to be his brother.
Did it say that in that movie?
They don't say it verbally. They show a photo because Pops.
See, that went over my head.
No, there's a photo in the like one of the bedroom stands in Pop's room, and it shows Pops as a young man with two kids. One is clearly Hutch, and the other one is RZA's character.
For me, I thought they're, I guess, best friends, in a sense, like they grew up together, best friends. But in Nobody too, they make it more
siblings
prominent. They say it, oh, this is my brother, blah, blah, blah. I was like, what? Because that went over my head because I just thought they were best friends growing up and like say like maybe not adopt
I think what it was is like RZA was supposed to be faking his death because he's like, I ain't coming out of the hiding for you or whatever. It's like
right. No, yeah, he's in hiding. Right, you have 30 seconds. I gotta go. Whatever. Blah blah blah. You're right.
Yeah,
no, I get that. So it seems like he's more active, or that he did something totally like treasonous in a way to the U.S. that he has to hide. What about weak scene? Was there a weak scene besides the third act?
The whole bit with the neighbor thing. Granted, like he seemed like he just stole the car just to steal the car. It's not like he really had too much of a bad issue with the neighbor.
But he did though, because he blew up the house. Like the two guys who were killed.
He blew up his own house. He didn't blow up the neighbor's house. He blew up his own house to hide the bodies of the invaders.
I thought that was in that house. I thought the neighbor went away and did everything in that house.
Nope. Oh. The neighbor just never came outside. So I don't know if the neighbor was away or whatever. We only saw the neighbor once. Yeah, he was an ass, because it was right after he got robbed with the kitty bracelet.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The two guys were sitting on the couch, and he finds the bracelet underneath the couch.
Yeah, which which was funny because if that never disappeared, none of this really would have happened.
Exactly. That missing piece. set off. Yes, like a domino effect. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
right.
If
That one
anything,
person.
I would have been like more inclined to see that cop again, because there was that one cop who was like, "Man, if that was my family," I'm like, that guy was way more of a dick to the neighbor.
What cop?
At the very beginning, where he gets robbed by the two criminals, the couple. There's one cop that's interviewing the son, and there's another cop that's in front of him.
Hmm.
And he goes,
Hmm.
"So you had a golf club? You didn't take a shot? You didn't swing?" And he
Right.
goes, "He's like, if it was my family, I would have done something."
Right.
And then he looks back at him and was like,
yeah, but the neighbor did it similar.
The neighbor said, "I wish someone would try to break into my house," or something like that, right?
And he starts punching the air. He's
And
like,
punching the air. Yeah, but that's just a comment on him like wishing someone would do that, not really
mhm,
talking about that's my family. There's a level of degree to it. Like
okay.
if saying like, man, if that was my family, I'll do that. That's basically saying you won't go to the extent to what you need to do to protect your family. Which that whole little thing, a lot of people they talk about it briefly, because I remember the conversation with him and Riza, and he's like, "Yeah, the gun wasn't loaded," so he
Right.
knew like they wouldn't kill him. But the Riza's like, "I understand why you didn't do what you didn't do,
Right.
because." If he escalated it beyond what it was, they probably would have died. And then
Right.
that would have drawn more attention to him.
Right. Well, for me, the final scene, the third act, was very weak. That Russian dude, he was awesome as a villain. Totally great as a
He
villain.
was
So I
fun as
just,
a villain.
yeah, definitely. So I'm just like, you took him out like that. It was kind of like quick, wearing that because he's like he has that shield with the grenade on the front. Like, which is funny is like the shield's up, his legs are exposed from the knee down. His legs are exposed, so you're not shooting that. So he's just running straight forward and then pulls the pin. The guy
Arguably the
gets
most
splattered.
unrealistic moment in the entire movie.
Oh, that guy would have been shredded.
Oh yeah.
What kind of grenade is that called again?
It's is it a claymore?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a claymore. Yeah, he would have been shredded, but no, he just gets pushed back. He gets killed, but the blast from hitting the wall to the impact also does damage. I just felt that could have been done better. I mean, the shootout all itself was kind of cool. You had the father, you had the brother teaming up with him to take out, it's a family affair.
I thought it was silly that Riza using a sniper rifle for close quarter combat.
Yeah, like you said, it's like a little over the top on certain things. Yeah, I think that you want to wipe your sweat again.
It's only gonna get worse.
Well, we're almost done with the review, so
Okay.
yeah, I just wish the ending was a little bit better. Not the ending because that was cute with the interrogation, but yeah, that shootout scene could have been, in my opinion, just better.
Yeah. So almost like how they make John Wick like the boogeyman, they do something similar when they did the research on him. And they had the tech girl. She's like, I have a guy in the government that he can look him up, and she just automatically sends like blackmail photos of the guy like in dominatrix stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She sees the paperwork and she throws it to the Russian. She says, "Don't worry about paying me. I quit." And he's like, "And here's your information." And I'm like, which is kind of, it's not as theatrical in the sense that John Wick was, because John Wick was like, they told the story like he's the boogeyman. And here it's the reaction to like, I found the boogeyman.
Right.
That's kind of dope too. The Russian kind of had a similar reaction, but then he was like, I'm all in still.
All right. It would be kind of cool if, like, say, Bullet Train, John Wick, Nobody did a movie together somehow. Well, they're all the same company.
I mean, they kind of could connect them. Bullet Train was all assassins.
Right. But wasn't John Wick an assassin? This guy, he could have been an assassin for the military, right? It'd be kind of cool if we get them all together in somehow, some way, just to have a nice little fan fest, if you will.
It would have been cool. I agree.
It doesn't have to be Keanu Reeves. It could be someone else from that world that we saw. It could be,
or Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen, or Kane. It could be Common's character.
Yeah, we haven't seen Common since 2.
Yeah, because he got immobilized and got to the hospital or whatever, and then got stitched up. That'd be kind of cool.
Now that I think about it, it's like you got John Wick has a dog, Hutch has
a cat. Bullet Train, did he have a character, a pet?
No, there was a snake that was running around, but No, he didn't keep the snake.
Oh, okay.
He had Sandra
All right.
Bullock.
But that was his what do you call it?
Handler.
His handler, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to go back to Rotten Tomatoes, still scored at 84% by the critics and 94 by the audience. Who do you side with?
I'm gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna say
No, who do you side with? You side with the critics or you side with the audience?
oh, I'm leaning more towards the critics. It's a solid film, it's a good time.
That might be one with the audience if it's a 90.
Well, you said it was 94 with the critics.
No, I said 84 with the critics and 94 by the audience.
Listen,
So
it's hot.
a nine and okay. Okay.
I said what I said.
Okay. Right now, I side with the critics. This is good, but it's not 90 or 94% good. It's just that third act. It's just from everything that happened that led up to it, it's just like somewhat
I
of a
didn't-
disappointment.
Now I remember I didn't like the end scene where it's like RZA and Pops and they're in the minivan driving away and they have a whole thing of ammunitions. I thought that was like an unnecessary scene.
As they're leaving the warehouse,
Yeah.
but then they bring it. 'Cause
No,
they were filled to the nine.
no, Pops only had the shotguns strapped to him. He had tons of shotguns to him, and RZA
That- okay,
only
that-
used the sniper rifle.
That was a real good one in the sense of the home. They come to kill him. and
Yes.
he-
But no, see, but that was the thing. Like that was good at the home, but he comes into the warehouse. He's just like walking around,
right.
and then tosses. He goes for another shotgun.
As I'm saying, see, that's why it's like it's not the
Yeah.
third act is just it's not as solid or strong as the first two acts.
I would have liked Pops to be more stationary, not as mobile.
The
Like when he was
wheelchair?
at the home. No, like when he was at the home, that was cool. And
Mhm.
then like Pop showed up. He's like, I got this corner.
Wait till you watch Nobody 2. Is this worth the watch though?
I think it is.
I think so too. How about To Own?
Yeah, I would lean to own, especially if you already own John Wick films.
Yeah.
This would be you can kind of fanfic it into your collection.
Oh yeah, definitely. I still see it in this world. It's still in the same world, just a different aspect, a different point of view, if you will. Just another character that's not
Okay,
of
George
that
Lucas.
assassination world. But yeah. All right, guys, that is our action review of Nobody. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm a Don.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.